Welcome to Stairway to English. In this video, we will talk about the common problem, I understand English, but I can't speak. Together, we will learn how to move from silence to freedom in speaking. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment to share your journey with English. Episode 1. The common struggle of understanding but not speaking. Many English learners face the same problem. They can understand when someone speaks English to them, but they cannot answer easily. This is a very common struggle in language learning, and it makes people feel confused or even frustrated. You listen to English songs, movies, and conversations. You understand the meaning, maybe not every word, but the general idea. However, when it is your turn to speak, your mouth feels heavy, your words get stuck, and sometimes no sentence comes out. This situation can make learners feel that something is wrong with them. But in truth, nothing is wrong. It is a natural step in the journey of learning a new language. When you listen, your brain works in a more relaxed way. You only need to receive and process the sounds. You connect them with meaning, and you get the message. But when you speak, the job becomes more active. You must produce words, connect grammar, and think about pronunciation, all in real time. Your brain must move faster, and your mouth must follow. This is why speaking feels harder than listening. It is like watching someone dance compared to dancing yourself. Watching feels easy. Dancing requires energy, movement, and practice. Many learners believe they need to know more words or grammar before they can speak well. They wait for the perfect moment when they will be ready to talk. But this perfect moment never arrives. The truth is, you cannot learn to speak by only waiting and listening. You learn to speak by speaking. Mistakes will come, but they are not enemies. They are part of the process. When a child learns their first language, they also make mistakes. Nobody expects them to be perfect from the beginning. The same rule applies to English. Another important reason for this problem is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of being judged, fear of sounding strange. Fear can block your tongue more than lack of vocabulary. Even if you know the right words, fear can keep them inside your mind. This is why many learners say, "I understand, but I can't speak." Their mind is full of words, but fear and self-doubt act like a lock on the door. To overcome this stage, you must accept that speaking is not about perfection. It is about communication. The goal is to send your message, not to win a grammar prize. If someone understands you, then you are already successful. With time, your sentences will become better, your pronunciation clearer, and your confidence stronger. Listening is still very important, but it should always be combined with active speaking practice. For example, after watching a short video, you can retell what you saw in your own words. After reading a story, you can summarize it aloud. Even speaking to yourself can help. The brain needs to practice moving from silent understanding to active speaking. This movement is like training a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. So, if you feel stuck in the place where you understand but cannot speak, know that you are not alone. Millions of learners feel the same way. The key is not to wait for magic, but to start small. Practice daily and allow mistakes to be your teachers. Remember, every word you speak is a step forward, and even broken sentences are better than silence. In the journey of English learning, silence keeps you in one place, but speaking moves you forward. This first episode opens the door to understanding why this problem exists. In the next episodes, we will explore deeper reasons, practical solutions, and simple exercises that can help you transform your silent understanding into confident speaking. Episode 2: Why the Brain Understands, but the Mouth Stays Silent. When you understand English but cannot speak, it shows that your brain has learned to receive language but not to produce it. This is an important difference in how our brains work with languages. Listening and speaking use connected but separate skills. Listening is about recognizing sounds, words, and meanings. Speaking is about producing sounds, building sentences, and controlling grammar in real time. Many learners spend most of their time listening and reading, so their passive skills grow strong. But their active skills, like speaking, remain weak because they are not used enough. Think of it like this. Imagine a library filled with books. You have access to all of them, and you can read many ideas. This is your passive knowledge. But when someone asks you to write your own book, it feels hard. You must choose the right words, organize ideas, and put everything together. Speaking English works in the same way. Your brain has stored many words and grammar rules, but producing sentences quickly is like writing a book in real time. Another reason for the gap between understanding and speaking is translation. Many learners listen in English but think in their first language. When they try to answer, they translate from their native language into English. This process takes time, and by the time they find the right words, the conversation may already move forward. This delay creates pressure, and the mouth stays silent. The best way to fix this is to practice thinking directly in English. Even simple sentences like, "I am hungry," or "It is raining today," can help you train your brain to skip translation. Fear also plays a very strong role. When people learn English, they often worry about how others will react. They ask themselves, what if I make a mistake? What if I sound stupid? What if they laugh at me? These thoughts create stress. And when you feel stressed, your brain focuses more on the fear than on the words. The result is silence. It is important to remember that most people are not watching you to find mistakes. They are listening to understand you. Native speakers also make mistakes, and they do not expect perfection from learners. Confidence grows only through experience. Imagine riding a bicycle. You cannot read about it and then expect to ride perfectly. You must fall, get up, and try again. Speaking English is the same. You cannot just study grammar books and then hope to speak fluently one day. You must open your mouth, say the words, and practice again and again. Every mistake is like falling from the bicycle, but every try makes you better. Another issue is speed. In conversations, people often speak quickly. You may understand them, but when it is your turn, your brain feels slow. This is normal because your speaking muscles are not trained yet. To solve this, you can practice shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a short sentence in English and repeating it immediately, almost at the same time. This trains your mouth and brain to move together faster. It feels strange at first, but after some practice, it becomes easier. There is also the matter of vocabulary. Many learners understand words when they hear them, but they do not use them in speaking. These words are passive vocabulary. To turn them into active vocabulary, you must practice using them in sentences. For example, if you learn the word decision, you can try saying, I made a decision yesterday, or it is hard to make decisions. The more you use a word in your own sentences, the easier it becomes to recall it when you need it. Finally, we must not forget the importance of environment. If you live in a place where nobody speaks English, your opportunities to practice are very limited. You may hear English in movies or songs, but without real conversation, speaking remains weak. This is why creating your own practice environment is so important. Talking to yourself, recording your voice, or joining online speaking groups can all make a difference. So, if your brain understands English, but your mouth stays silent, do not think it means failure. It only means you are in the middle of the process. Your listening and reading skills are strong, and now it is time to balance them with speaking. By practicing direct thinking, reducing fear, and training your speaking muscles, you can slowly close the gap. Step by step, your mouth will learn to follow your mind, and you will discover that speaking English is not impossible. It is simply the next stage of your learning journey. Episode 3: Breaking the Fear of Speaking. Fear is one of the biggest barriers in language learning. Many people who learn English know enough words and grammar to communicate, but they stay silent because they are afraid. Fear makes the mouth heavy, the mind blank, and the heart beat faster. To overcome this fear, we must first understand it. Fear usually comes from the belief that speaking must be perfect. Learners imagine that others will laugh at them if they make a mistake. They think that every sentence must follow the rules of grammar exactly. This pressure creates silence. But the truth is, communication is not about perfection. It is about connection. Think of how children learn to speak their first language. They do not wait until they know perfect grammar before speaking. They make many mistakes. They say words in the wrong order. They invent their own grammar. Yet their parents understand them, and with time, they improve. Adults who learn English should do the same. Mistakes are not shameful. They are signs of progress. Every error teaches the brain to adjust and try again. Another reason fear grows is comparison. Learners often compare themselves to others who speak more fluently. They listen to a native speaker or an advanced learner and feel small. But comparison is unfair because everyone has a different journey. Some people study for years, some live in English-speaking countries, and some practice every day. Your path is your own. The only fair comparison is between your present self and your past self. Are you better today than you were yesterday? If the answer is yes, then you are moving forward. A useful method to reduce fear is exposure. The more you expose yourself to English, the less scary it feels. For example, if you listen to English podcasts or watch English videos every day, your ear gets used to the rhythm. If you read short texts daily, your eyes recognize more words. And if you practice speaking even a few minutes a day, your mouth becomes more comfortable. Fear becomes smaller when English becomes normal. Another powerful tool is preparation. Many learners feel afraid because they do not know what to say.
Preparing common sentences for everyday situations can help. For example, you can prepare phrases like, "Can you repeat that, please?" Or, "I don't understand this word." Having these ready in your memory gives you confidence. It shows you that you can survive in conversation even if you do not know everything. Confidence also grows when you practice in a safe space. Talking to yourself in English is one of the easiest ways to practice. You can describe what you are doing. I am cooking rice. I am walking to the store. I am feeling tired. This may seem strange, but it builds a habit of thinking in English. Recording your voice and listening again is another safe method. You can notice pronunciation mistakes and improve without pressure from others. Joining small groups of learners is also helpful. When you speak with people who share the same goal, you feel less judged. Everyone is learning, and mistakes are normal. This environment builds courage. Over time, you can move to larger groups or talk with native speakers. But the first step is practicing in a place where fear does not control you. Breathing and relaxation techniques can also help. Fear is not only in the mind, but also in the body. When you feel nervous, your body reacts. Your breath becomes short, your muscles tighten, and your voice shakes. Before speaking, take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Smile. These small actions send a message to your brain: it is safe. Your voice will sound stronger, and your words will flow more easily. It is also important to focus on the message, not the grammar. If your goal is to share an idea, then grammar mistakes are not the end of the world. People usually care more about understanding your meaning than judging your grammar. Think about when someone speaks your language with mistakes. Do you laugh at them? Probably not. You try to understand, and often you admire their effort. The same is true for English speakers listening to you. Finally, you must celebrate small victories. If you spoke 2 sentences today, when yesterday you spoke none, that is progress. If you introduced yourself in English, that is progress. Every small step deserves recognition. Celebrating progress keeps motivation alive. Motivation kills fear. Breaking the fear of speaking is not about becoming fearless overnight. It is about making fear smaller, step by step. Each time you speak, even with mistakes, fear loses power. Each time you open your mouth, you grow stronger. Remember, the goal is not perfection, but connection. And once you understand this, your fear will slowly transform into courage. Episode 4: Building Confidence Through Practice. Confidence in speaking English does not arrive suddenly. It is built like a house, brick by brick. Every small act of practice adds one more brick to the structure of your confidence. Many learners think confidence will come only when they reach fluency, but the truth is different. Confidence is not the result of fluency. It is the path to fluency. The more you practice speaking, the more your confidence grows. And the more your confidence grows, the easier speaking becomes. One of the strongest ways to build confidence is to create daily habits. A habit does not need to be long or difficult. Even speaking English for 5 minutes each day can make a difference. For example, you can start your day by describing your plans out loud. Today, I will go shopping. I will buy milk and bread. Later, I will call my friend. These simple sentences may seem small, but they train your brain to produce English naturally. Over time, your sentences will become longer and more complex without much effort. Confidence also grows when you connect English practice to real life. If you only study from textbooks, you may know grammar rules, but you will not feel comfortable using them. Real-life practice shows you that English is a living language, not just an academic subject. Try ordering food in English at a restaurant, even if you only say a few words. Write a short comment in English on a social media post. Send a simple message in English to a friend. These actions prove to you that you can use English outside the classroom. Another important step is repetition. The first time you tried to say something, it may feel difficult. Your words may be slow, and you may stop often to think. But when you repeat the same sentences many times, they become automatic. For example, if you practice saying, "Could you please help me?" or "What time does the bus arrive?" several times a day, soon these phrases will come out of your mouth without effort. Repetition is the key to confidence because it removes hesitation. Reading aloud is another excellent method. When you read an English text aloud, you practice pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. At first, your reading may sound mechanical, but with time, it becomes more natural. Reading aloud also helps your mouth get used to producing English sounds. The more your mouth practices, the less nervous it will be when you need to speak in real conversations. Recording yourself while speaking is also a powerful tool. Many learners avoid hearing their own voice, but listening to your recordings shows you both your strengths and your weak points. Maybe your pronunciation of some words is clear, but others need improvement. Maybe you speak very slowly, but your grammar is correct. By listening, you can focus on what to improve. And when you notice progress in your recordings, your confidence grows naturally. Confidence is also built through positive self-talk. Many learners speak to themselves with negative words. "I cannot do this." "I am too bad at English," or "Everyone is better than me." These thoughts kill confidence. To build confidence, replace them with positive sentences. "I am improving every day." "I can learn from my mistakes." "Speaking English is possible for me." The brain believes the words you repeat. Positive self-talk creates a stronger mindset, and a stronger mindset produces confidence. A supportive community also makes a difference. If you practice alone, progress may feel slow and you may lose motivation. But if you join a group of learners, you see that others also struggle and you feel less alone. Together, you can practice, encourage each other, and celebrate successes. In such a community, fear decreases and confidence rises. Online communities, language exchange partners, or local clubs can all provide this support. One more way to build confidence is to focus on communication, not perfection. When you speak, concentrate on the message you want to share. Do not pause too long searching for the perfect word. Use simple words to express your idea. Most of the time, people will understand you. And when you realize that your message is understood, your confidence increases. Confidence also requires patience. It does not appear overnight. Sometimes you will feel strong, and sometimes you will feel weak. This is normal. What matters is consistency. If you continue practicing day by day, even when it feels hard, your confidence will keep growing. Like climbing a mountain, every step may feel small, but together they bring you to the top. In the end, confidence is built not by waiting for courage, but by taking action despite fear. Every time you speak, even if your voice shakes, you become stronger. Every conversation, no matter how short, is a victory. Confidence grows through practice, and practice is always in your hands. Step by step, word by word, you will build a strong foundation that will carry you to fluency. Episode 5: From Understanding to Speaking with Freedom. Many English learners say, I understand when I listen or read, but I cannot speak. This situation is very common, and it can feel frustrating. But the good news is that the gap between understanding and speaking can be closed with the right steps. The journey from silence to expression is not magic. It is a process of training your brain, your mouth, and your confidence. Understanding is passive. When you listen or read, you receive the language. Your brain collects information, recognizes words, and connects meanings. Speaking, however, is active. It requires your brain to choose words quickly, build sentences, and send signals to your mouth to produce sounds. This extra step is why many learners feel stuck. They can understand, but producing speech feels slow and stressful. To move from understanding to speaking, you must create a bridge. The bridge is made of practice, repetition, and active use of English. Think of your brain as a storehouse. When you listen or read, you fill the storehouse with words and expressions. But if you never take them out and use them, they remain locked inside. Speaking is the act of opening the storehouse and bringing the words into the world. One way to make this bridge stronger is to shadow what you hear. Shadowing means listening to English audio and repeating it immediately, trying to copy the speaker's rhythm and tone. At first, it feels difficult, but shadowing trains your brain to react faster. It reduces the gap between hearing and speaking. With practice, your mouth learns to produce English without hesitation. Another way is to practice transformation. Take a sentence you hear and change it slightly. If the speaker says, I went to the park yesterday, you can say, I went to the park last week, or I will go to the park tomorrow. This small change forces your brain to work actively with the language. You are not just repeating, you are creating. Over time, this ability grows and speaking becomes natural. Freedom in speaking also comes from reducing pressure. Many learners think they must speak perfectly, with no mistakes. This belief creates fear, and fear blocks the voice. The truth is that mistakes are part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes, forget words, or change their sentences. Freedom comes when you accept mistakes as friends, not enemies. Each mistake teaches you something and brings you closer to fluency. To increase freedom, practice speaking in safe spaces. Talk to yourself when nobody is listening. Describe what you see around you. Tell short stories about your day. Imagine a conversation with a friend. These exercises may seem small, but they prepare your brain for real conversations. When the moment comes to speak with another person, you will feel less pressure because you have already trained in private. Another powerful method is to connect speaking to emotions. The brain remembers emotional experiences more strongly. If you only practice dry sentences, your memory may be weak. But if you tell a funny story, share a personal dream, or express a strong opinion, your brain will remember those words better. Emotional practice creates stronger pathways from understanding to speaking. Freedom also grows when you use English to create, not only to study. Try writing a short journal in English and then read it aloud. Compose a short message or even a simple poem. When you create with the language, you are no longer only a student. You are a speaker, a user of English. This change in identity is powerful. You stop saying, I am only learning English, and start saying, I speak English. It is also important to celebrate progress. Many learners focus only on what they cannot do, and they forget to notice what they can already do. Every time you speak a sentence without thinking too much, celebrate it. Every time someone understands you, celebrate it. Progress may be slow, but it is real. Celebrating small victories keeps your motivation alive and gives you the energy to continue. Finally, moving from understanding to speaking requires persistence. There will be days when speaking feels easy and days when it feels impossible. This is normal. Do not let temporary difficulties stop you. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep building. Over time, your passive knowledge will become active, your silent understanding will become clear speech, and your fear will turn into freedom. Speaking English is not about being perfect. It is about being brave. It is about opening your mouth and letting the words flow, even if they are not always correct. It is about sharing your thoughts, your feelings, and your stories with the world. The moment you stop waiting for perfect English and start using the English you already know, you begin to speak with freedom.